What's up, everybody? My name is Marco Dupa. That right there is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
R.I.P. Frank and Louie, the two-headed cat.
And Drunk Dave Romero.
All right. I think Adam's drunk.
Yeah, we're going to have to go back to that in a second. Tonight's brew is the Global Warmer from the 6 Point Brewing Company. This looks... we've had it before. We had it a couple episodes back. 6 Point.
Yeah.
Right.
Good stuff.
Who we had it with was actually the one that recommended this.
That he did.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin
Benner.
That's his last name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're identifying
We should
him.
check. We should check.
I'm not entirely sure.
He lives
He
at...
might be dating someone I'm related to. I don't know. I don't really know Gavin that well.
Or your family. You're just not
or
very
my family
close.
that well. I don't know any of them. Regardless, this looks delicious. We're going to have a good time tonight. This is the One Beer Podcast.
It was the two-headed cat.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
It's a true story.
About what?
A two-headed cat named Frank and... What was the other one that I just said? Frank and...
You said it.
I know.
Yeah, we're not listening to that shit.
Okay, anyway.
I'm going to listen to you.
It's a two-headed cat, and it just died, which is rare because it lived to age 15. Normally, like, two-headed animals die, like, instantly.
As soon as they take a picture of it?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
It's going to be okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Even though
Cheers.
Marco's had a couple sips of this already.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cheers.
It's just delicious.
I've heard it. I can hear you drinking. That is divine.
It is pretty good. So, good choice, anonymous person that we don't know or like.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin Banner.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I
This
like
is
it.
good. It's from the 6 Point Brewery. It's part of the Cycliquids. We couldn't get the pronunciation
That's right.
right.
We fucked it up the first time. We'll fuck it up again.
There you go.
Cycliquids. Cycliquids. Nope. It's 7.0 alcohol by volume. It's 70 IBUs. It's a red ale. A red imperial ale. It's delicious, though. I like this.
Yeah.
It definitely tastes like an IPA.
No, it doesn't.
To me.
Nay, sir.
Yeah.
Taste it again.
Yeah.
It's got the hoppy taste to it.
It's hoppy.
It is hop.
Hip hop.
Hip hoppy. I like it though.
Yeah.
Moving right along, Adam, your topic is two-headed animals. Go ahead and name all of them that you can.
Well, you got your.
I know of a two-headed turtle. I don't know its
I've
name.
seen that. I've seen that before.
Two-headed snake.
Sounds like how you would start a story about you pooping.
So it is two-headed turtle, right? Yeah.
Story of the two-headed snake. Anyway,
This is the One Baron Podcast, episode 40.
boom. The
What?
big one.
Yes. Nice.
Excuse me.
Heard all that.
I know.
These mics are just too powerful.
I bet you guys didn't know. I was actually going through my my Google Drive
Yeah.
the other day, and I saw that we actually passed over a year of recording this already.
Really?
Yeah, we just hadn't started naming it. It was back when we were still the Cake Boy podcast.
Yeah.
And we weren't giving it episodes. It's still on my drive, so later on we should pull it up.
That makes sense because if we're at episode 40 and all the test episodes
Right. We
and
had
the
about, like, 5
unnamed
tests.
episodes.
Yeah, I didn't want to listen to it because I was afraid to hear how vulgar I used to be
Used to.
and how inappropriate we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to, because for some reason it's on my phone, one of our late night podcasts that might see the light of day.
Oh, boy.
God.
Who was it about?
Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was a good one.
So, yeah. I listened to that. That was fun. Listened to that in the car. It was good. It's pretty entertaining.
It's our like Stern version.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our late night version?
I don't know. We got to come up with a good moniker for it.
Yeah.
No, you know what it should be is because we drink the beers on the podcast, but later on after the podcast, we do a little bit more drinking. We get into the liquor,
Right?
So it should be. That sounds whack. It should be something a little bit or something related to liquor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking that. But I couldn't think of something.
How
good.
about 2 fingers in?
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of
no.
I
Nope.
think
Cool, man.
It's
Be cool.
topical.
Be cool.
It's topical.
Yeah.
2 fingers in is topical.
If it becomes a sex podcast.
The 2 finger in podcast. No, I mean 2 fingers based off of.
I know
how
what
much
you meant, but
whiskey
how do you
pour.
think people are going to take it?
Well, if I explain it,
They're going to take.
we
you with 2
could
fingers
explain
in.
it every single episode. Be like the 2 finger in podcast. Not what you're thinking. It's how much whiskey you pour. Podcast.
Nah.
No.
I'm just thinking of the graphic of what that would be.
Yeah. Where would we go with that? So yeah.
Anyway, so maybe we should do a late night, like how Adam said. It could be our Howard spin, and hey, maybe that'll take off because that's pretty scandalous shit right there.
Yeah, no real names. We also need to give a review to this beer.
That we do, because we're way past that marker.
Yes, sir.
One
Give it a
more
good
for you?
swish. Give it a good swish, guys.
Give this I want to say 5. 5's too high.
I'm going 4.5.
I'm going 4.5.
I'm going 4.5.
Don't you always?
I did last week too, but I feel like this is on the same level as
Even
last
with the
week's.
ladies.
I don't know
for
what
it.
that means.
All right.
You got a tiny dick.
little baby dick. Anyway, yes, this is the One Baron Podcast, episode 40. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's just dive right in, like we weren't already.
Yeah.
As we do.
Yeah.
Getting
So-
real tired of this shit, Mark.
You just showed me a picture of CM Punk with Dana White.
Correct.
Who's
You
CM
right.
Punk?
CM Punk is a former professional wrestler. If you haven't been on the internets lately, I don't know what you're doing. His exploits have been all over the place. Basically, he left WWE on one of the biggest nights. Well, after the night after one of the biggest nights in their year, right after Royal Rumble. Man, he decided he
You
was
okay?
done. No,
You all right,
So
buddy?
you still heard about it.
it's just I can't. He broke my heart.
All right.
So yeah, he left and he decided he didn't want to wrestle anymore, and he kind of left it he left in kind of like limbo, basically. Didn't tell anybody why he left. The only thing that we had were rumors to go off of, and then one day he just decided to do the Colt Cabana podcast. Colt Cabana is also a pro wrestler. He has a podcast called The Art of Wrestling.
Sounds like a wrestler.
Yeah, Colt Cabana. So he has a podcast. Colt Cabana is a really close friend of CM Punk's. He goes on the podcast. He basically just airs out WWE, talks about how every idea he came up with got shot down, the financial crisis that they're going through. His health was the biggest thing, just like all the stuff that they put him through. He wrestled with a staph infection for like 3 months.
Which could kill you.
Yeah.
Ew.
If that's true.
Yeah, and basically turned into MRSA, and he got that taken care of, but he almost died wrestling with that. He wrestled on a torn MCL.
Show must go on.
Yeah,
right.
So he basically destroyed his body for. I mean, he got paid pretty well, but he didn't get paid the amount of money that he felt he deserved for basically destroying his body for 10 years.
right.
That's
so
kind of
then-
the story of like every professional wrestler, though, isn't it?
See, that's the thing, though.
yeah.
What people are saying is some people agree. A lot of wrestlers, they're saying are like, man, he is saying what we wish we could say to the public and to Vince McMahon, basically, like, we're putting our bodies on the line for little to no pay. And then other people are like, you know what? You're CM Punk, okay? You basically main evented for 5 straight years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you didn't get the exact specifications in each match that you wanted, but you were in the main event picture. It was CM Punk, John Cena, Triple H. Like, he was.
One of the top.
Yeah.
One of the top.
I mean, if
dogs.
you look up like the WWE Network, if you go back on pay-per-views from like right before he left Royal Rumble
WrestleMania.
to about I don't know, like 4 or 5 years prior to that, like you can see his face in each one of the advertisements. His name is all over the place. So a lot of people, agree with him and are glad that he said it. Other people are like, you know what are you complaining about? We all put our bodies on the line, and we don't get half the recognition that you get.
And it doesn't help that outside of the ring, he's always been kind of a dick.
They say that he's not a very nice guy to a lot of fans. But then again, when you hear him tell it, it's hard because, like, if you hear his side of it, you understand it. But then you hear the fan side of it, and you understand their side too, because he's kind of a dick. But then when you hear him tell it, like he tells a story in the podcast where a guy, he's out with his wife at a hockey game, and there's this long line to get food. There's only like a 20-minute intermission between the periods in hockey. Yeah. So he's trying to get food. He's going in his pockets. He can't get cash out of it. So he's trying, if you're doing the scramble because they couldn't take his debit card, so he had to find cash in his pockets. He's put all his stuff down. He's fucking hustling around trying to find something. And then some guy out of nowhere, hey, Phil. Phil's his real name. But it's like, you don't know him like that. You don't walk up to a rapper like Black Thought and be like, hey, Tariq. Like, you don't know him. You know him as the person that you see on TV, which is Black Thought. The reason that you know his real name is because you looked it up and now you think you're, like, friends with the guy.
It would be kind of awkward to go, hey, Black Thought.
Why?
No.
That's his name to you.
That's
his name.
That's his public figure. That's how he identifies a fan from someone
he walks around
who knows.
calling himself Black Thought. So if you saw him, you'd say, yo, Thought, what's up, man? You wouldn't say, hey, Tariq. You're not his friend.
Yeah. I guess so.
I mean... And it's just the fact that, like, CM Punk has repeatedly said that it annoys him when people call him by his real name. Because even his close friends and family call him CM Punk.
Guess
like,
that's been his true
name.
Fan.
I mean, what it is a guy...
Would you call him Phil?
No.
Right. You a fan.
Because it's disrespectful. He has said time and again, don't call me that, you don't know me. Even my family calls me Punk. That's been his nickname since he was, like, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you're going to call him by his real name.
But, like,
hey, Philip.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know about you guys, but if I were to see a celebrity, I wouldn't just, like, yell at them.
That was the other thing, that he's just yelling across the auditorium trying to get his attention. And then when CM Punk ignores him, he goes on Twitter and, oh, CM Punk's such a dickhead, he ignored me. Yeah, you were yelling at him. His wife's standing right next to him. He's trying to get food for his wife, and you're yelling his real name at him.
Did he get the food or not?
He did get the food, from my understanding. Hot dog.
And some nachos with some nacho cheese on top?
I don't know. All I know is about the hot dog.
What do you...
Anytime I say hot dog, it has to be like New York.
That's
where not dogs are... Not dogs. That's where hot dogs are from. It's New York. Anyway, I think we're getting a little off track.
Wait a second. What if hot dogs were long and twisted into pretzel shape, and then you could call them not dogs?
Not dogs.
With a K.
You couldn't get it couldn't be a hot dog. It'd have to be like bratwurst or like sausage, because you'd have to, there's no way you'd be able to, like, a hot dog would break.
I don't think so.
You form it in that way.
No, you shut your mouth.
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
You wouldn't be able to.
It's not that. It's
you wouldn't
not
be able to tie it
like that. You couldn't.
Not a hot dog.
No,
like a bratwurst or sausage. Yeah, because you fill it inside.
Do you think the hot dog
sack
would just slip out of it? Slip out the knot?
No, a hot dog would break.
Why would it break?
Once you turn it this way, it would just snap.
Really?
I propose a hot dog that is shaped in a curve already. Therefore, you can just tie it in a knot.
What about when you cook it?
It plumps when you cook it.
They'd have to be really. It'd have to be pretty long though to tie it. In a knot.
Well, no, because most definitely would have to be a long hot dog.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
You're not doing that with a cocktail.
It'd have to be a really long.
I already know the art for this segment.
It's gonna be
it's just a hot
really
dog.
Long hot dog.
Just a really long hot dog.
Doesn't matter what we talk about going forward. It's got to be a hot dog.
It's gonna be a hot dog from now on.
So CM Punk.
CM Punk eats a hot dog.
If you can get a picture of him eating a hot dog, oh my god.
Oh, I don't have to get one. I'll make one.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
That'll work. I got a perfect.
Or I should just get a
you.
pretzel and make it pink.
No, I got it. I'll tell you. I got it. It's perfect. So he was already in talks with Dana White. There had been rumors. Like, another thing he brings up on the podcast is he wanted to have sponsors like MMA fighters do. That's how he wanted to come out. Instead of the wrestling trunks, he wanted to come out in fight shorts with sponsors on them. And he's like, he goes to Vince McMahon. He's like, this is going to make me money. It's going to make you money. I can get all these sponsors. All these wrestlers could get sponsors, blah, blah, blah. They shoot down the idea. Brock Lesnar comes back a year later. He's got fight shorts on with Jimmy John sponsoring him. So
Really?
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty. I mean, if you hear CM Punk tell it,
CM Punk needs to come out with shorts that have Not Dogs on them.
can we get sponsored by Not Dogs? That'll be our first podcast sponsor.
Sponsorship, yeah.
No, it'll be
Not
us.
Dogs.
We're launching Not Dogs soon on your corner.
So yeah, now he's in talks with Dana White to actually fight. He's not the first, probably not the last professional wrestler who thinks he can do it in the octagon.
Well,
Brock Lesnar was pretty successful for a while.
Yeah.
So,
For a while.
For a while.
Until an actual MMA fighter,
I mean, he had some pretty high profile fights.
Frank Mir.
He's big. He's
Frank
a big
Mir.
guy.
That's it. He's big.
Yeah.
That's what Vas Rutend, he said that
Good old boss.
he was like he's a good wrestler, but his hands are weak. I mean, there's nothing like a guy telling you like, yo, your fucking hands are weak, son. Like, what? Your hands are weak, B.
I feel like a guy only like Boss Rutan can say that.
You can say your hands are weak, yo. They're weak.
Hey,
yeah.
your hands are weak.
Oh yeah, he's
Pretty
He's
disrespectful.
a big guy, but his hands are fucking. His
His hands are weak, yo. He's got weak hands.
Zooming on his hands. They're baby hands.
The Burger King hands.
He's got the little hands.
I think any I don't know about professional wrestlers going to UFC. UFC guys going to WWE, like they were talking about. Chael Sonnen wants to do that. He's a big WWE fan.
Yeah.
He wants to do it. I think it would be a pretty good look. You don't have to put your body on the, like, as a UFC fighter, you've already got that high profile. The kind of contract you could sign is like, I'll just show up for some pay-per-views, have some
Right.
fun, blah, blah, blah.
Right, you are already legitimately a fighter.
So you bring that reputation to WWE. So people, and I think that's why Brock Lesnar's so popular, because he started out and he was a monster. He was just throwing people around. Didn't matter how big they were. He's just tossing them around the ring.
Yeah.
Then he leaves, goes to UFC. To the casual fan, he was a champion in UFC.
Yeah.
Then
Well, he actually was a
I mean, he
champion.
was, but what I'm saying is, like David was saying, like, he did get his ass kicked before he left.
Yeah.
So then he comes back to WWE. He's got the big UFC championship belt, and everyone thinks he's just this monster again. So Chael Sonnen, I don't know if people are going to. The point is, I don't, as big a fan as I am of CM Punk, I don't know if it's a great look for him to go over to UFC and do mixed martial arts, because the only thing he can do is lose. Because if he wins, it's just be like, yeah, he's a pretty good fighter, but we kind of knew that already. Like, if
I don't know if I know that personally.
Well, what weight is he fighting in?
That's a good question.
the way he looks, he's probably like a $180, $170.
How tall is he?
6'1", 6'2".
Okay, so he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah, I mean he's small for WWE standards because they like guys like
7
Brock
foot
Lesnar, but
tall.
like a regular person, yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
who could he potentially fight in?
he'd probably be a
UFC?
middleweight at his weight class.
This is your area.
Not really. I don't really know exactly the weight classes. I don't know how much he weighs, but I was saying before, I don't really have much confidence in him going in and actually fighting MMA.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, if he wins, it just kind of establishes what his fans already knew about him.
That's what I was gonna say too. Is because I'm not a huge fan of like his era of wrestling. Therefore, I don't really know him very much. But if he won and he was successful, I'd be kind of pleasantly surprised. To see
It's
that
a
happen.
huge opportunity to capitalize on more fans, on more exposure, because he's already bringing WWE fans to UFC. If he wins a fight as a WWE, transfer guy, then he's gonna
I mean,
he
he legitimizes himself. His legacy is cemented pretty much as a WWE champion and as a guy who is successful in the octagon, regardless of what that entails.
Right, which is it's actually kind of pathetic how much more serious we take an octagon to a ring
I mean, it's just it
or a Hell in a Cell or a cage.
They should fight in a cage.
I mean, if they were really putting hands to each other, you know,
Right.
I mean, it's just that little detail. It's always going to be that little detail.
It sucks that, you know, you showed me the WWE and it was an awesome presentation.
I showed you one of the best matches of all time.
One of the best matches of all times, and it was insanely entertaining. But at the same time, like, it's all fake. Most of it is all fake.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, but when it comes to that, you just have to be able to suspend your disbelief. It's really like watching a movie, honestly.
What match was that?
Hell in a Cell, 1997.
Yeah, Undertaker versus Kane.
Mankind.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm
It's
a
okay.
noob.
It's okay. You are. It's fine. Yeah.
The thumbtack.
But yeah, I mean,
the
it's
thumbtacks
one
were
of
so
the.
bad.
It cemented Mankind's legacy. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Undertaker was, you know, already the man. But
They should have stopped that fight way before they stopped that fight.
yeah.
Came back out. He wanted some more.
But anyway, moving on. Hopefully, CM Punk is able to establish a name for himself in the
Yeah.
UFC. Bring some WWE fans over to the UFC because that
Yeah.
would be awesome,
Yeah.
Watch some real fighting.
right? Show you how it's done, boy. But yeah, I mean, it would be horrible if all this press comes out, all this hype is generated, and he just gets pummeled.
Well, that's what I was
yeah.
gonna say. Is like the only thing he can do is lose, really.
Yeah.
Because if he wins, you know, it's awesome. He wins, but whatever. His status doesn't really change. But if he loses, then we know like all the shit he was talking and like all the training that he did. What was it for? If he gets
Right.
his ass kicked,
Yeah, he was no good.
I think it's a lose-lose situation for him. But I'm still excited and definitely gonna watch the fight when it happens,
Yeah.
if and when it happens.
I'd say he's a leaner WWE or former WWE fighter. So
Yeah.
most of these guys in WWE are like huge
Yeah.
and stocky and wouldn't be able to actually make it in a a real fight.
Yeah, like Batista.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did it. I think he won his fight.
go ahead.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh,
That's all I was
that
going to say about
that
that.
was my transitioning point.